Okay, first that was the president of Egypt at the peace summit yesterday saying President Trump is the only one who could have done that Gaza ceasefire and a Mideast peace plan. And that was President Trump publicly rebuking Barack Obama and Joe Biden to laughter and applause. President Trump reinstated America's credibility worldwide. He pulled together to his side over 30 nations, Europe, the Middle East. This is after Obama botched it with Syria, Libya, and Iraq, and on his watch, the rise of ISIS, and Biden botched it with Afghanistan. Joining us now, Harvard Law Professor Emeritus and constitutional lawyer, Professor Alan Dershowitz. Professor, thank you so very much for joining us tonight. What's your reaction to what you just heard? Because the media, for the first time, are now calling out Obama and Biden not achieving what Trump is getting. Joe Biden campaigned on his nearly 36 years on Senate foreign relations. He was Obama's point man.
Well, they got nothing done because they didn't understand the relationship between military power and diplomacy. The reason that President Trump, got this done is because he first allowed Israel to destroy Hamas, to destroy Hezbollah, to attack Iran, then with the help of the United States, weaken all of Israel's enemies and all of Hamas's friends. And then Hamas had no choice. Even Secretary of State under previous administrations have now said that without Israel's attacks, Trump could not have brought about diplomatically what he did. It really shows the incredibly strong relationship between Israel and the United States. When they act together, nobody can stop them. And when they're divided, as they were during the Obama administration and during the Biden administration, and weakness is shown, then you're not going to get peace. You only get peace through strength. Military strength is followed by diplomatic strength. That's what President Trump understood. He understood it well, and he achieved success.
So, Professor, you know, this is not over. The president just said Hamas will be disarmed. We know Israel pulled back to a predetermined buffer zone in Gaza to ensure Hamas's disarmament. We got reports coming in. Hamas is consolidating control and trying to in Gaza, rounding people up and shooting them, and that's posing a threat.
Yeah, well, we have videotapes of Hamas militants shooting people in Gaza. I wonder if they count them among the people who died in Gaza. We know Hamas killed a lot of Palestinians. They are trying to seek control. The problem is they have no more leverage. Without the hostages, both Israel, with the support of the United States, could move in and really disarm Hamas. So I hope it's not necessary. I hope Hamas will disarm itself. But if it refuses to do that, then President Trump has put his credibility behind disarming Hamas. That has to be done. There'll never be ultimate peace in the region if Hamas is still in control of Gaza. And all these demonstrators who were demonstrating in favor of a ceasefire, and they never wanted a ceasefire. They only wanted the destruction of Israel. I've offered $1,000 to anybody's favorite charity if they can find me one demonstration that called for two states. They never do. They all call for Palestine will be free from the river to the sea, jihad, intifada, end of Israel. That's what they want. They didn't get it in this deal, and so they're silent, they're quiet. We haven't heard from any of them, and we won't, because their desire is the end of Israel, not the welfare of the Palestinian people.
We hear you loud and clear. Professor Alan Dershowitz, thank you so much.